I'm on a journey to get better, and I want to do it with you. And I'm not just focusing on physical health. I'm focusing on everything: emotional wellness, spirituality, finances, relationships, and so much more. Every week, it will be my personal goal to bring us, the world's leading healers, experts, and game changers, to share groundbreaking secrets and tips to getting better in all areas of life. Getting better isn't easy, but it's a whole lot easier when we can do it together. Welcome to Better Together with me, Maria Menounos. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Better Together. It is Thursday, May 21st, and we are declaring it Ladies' Day. Thursday is for the ladies. We're
Gotta
have
be.
a lot of fun today. We've got my friend Meredith Alhern all the way from Chicago, but in New York. I forgot she was in New York.
No, not Chicago.
We are two ridiculous peas in a pod, so this shall be interesting. We've got Jeff Crane Graham, we've got Stephen Lemieux, we've got beers, and Meredith made a cocktail. I didn't have time to make cocktails, so I went for my go-to Bud Light. What did you make?
I'm drinking a Bacardi watermelon jalapeno mojito.
You made that so fast. I watched you on the Zoom make it in 2 minutes, and it looks beautiful. You are a lush that knows how to do it. Only someone that's that
really
trained can do it that fast, and she's not a bartender, people. We have a great show for you guys today. We're going to have a lot of fun. We also are going to have a really amazing guest that I'm excited to honor for Brain Cancer Awareness Month. Her name is Courtney Elizabeth. She is a YouTube beauty influencer who was diagnosed with brain cancer and went through the whole journey of surgery and chemo and radiation and the whole thing. And she bravely chronicled her journey. So we're going to be chatting with her a little bit later. But first, our quote of the day: "The most beautiful people we have known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen." Damn, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Wow. So,
Damn.
as we always talk about kind of adversity, you know, being like an opportunity to grow, it's an opportunity to be a beautiful person, clearly. And I see that in Courtney's journey, and I see that in so many journeys of people who have gone through such adversity and come out the other side because of their choices and their mental state. So very cool quote, Jeff. You get an A+ for that one.
Yes, it only took me a month and a half. I finally figured it out.
But yeah, I'm very excited to have a little bit of fun today. Meredith, we haven't talked in a minute. We haven't caught up. I'm going to crack my beer. I'm going to let you guys hear it. Here we go. Yes.
Welcome to ASMR with Maria Menounos.
Exactly. So now here's the deal, guys. I am a Bud Light fan. I think that isn't really going to encapsulate how big of a Bud Light fan I am, but I have multiple taps on property. I have a Bud Light fridge that keeps these Bud Lights to 27 degrees, I believe it is. So this is the frostiest Bud Light you could ever have. Steven and Jeff both have been gifted a beer each. I am the greatest boss ever, obviously.
Correct.
Is this a trap? Are you trying to lure me into doing something illegal?
I say cheers to Thursday. Cheers to the ladies out there. We are going to start celebrating you on Thursdays. This is going to be our day where we can just say, who cares? That's it. It's all about us. What do we want to do? We want to do a mask? Do we want to go to the spa, even if it's in our bedroom? Do we want to take a bubble bath? Do we want to make a mojito, Bacardi, whatever thing that she made over there? Do we want to have a Bud Light and just chill and just be a human being, not a human doing? This is going to be my declaration. I'm going to create this day, and we're going to do this here, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
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 Man, a Bud Light after a coffee really tastes great.
I forgot God, it's only 11.
It's
where you
only
at?"
11 a.m. My dad saw me going into the bar and grabbing the beers. He goes, Maria, you people, you gonna drink? And I'm like, yes, Dad. Thursday's for the ladies. And he goes, for the what?
He clearly must have known I was involved.
Dead. I will say, Mare, I'm very much loving your hair and your Zoom shirt. I didn't realize Kevin had said, he's like, you should create like Zoom tops. And I'm like, Kevin, there's no such thing as Zoom tops. Like people just have tops and they wear them on Zoom. And he goes, no. Like, you can only see from there. And then of course I started seeing people, I can't talk. I started seeing people marketing Zoom tops. Dead.
I mean, I definitely have pants on. I'll tell you that.
Thank God.
I'm not one of those, but no, I've definitely invested quite a bit of money in cute sweatsuits now that I don't leave the house very often.
Meredith, who was the Juicy Couture queen when she first started working for me a billion years ago, I used to see her ass crack every morning when she'd show up to work in her chair in her juicy sweats.
You know how bad what I would do for those juicy outfits now? They would be so perfect.
I still have mine. I'm so bad.
I do not.
I'm like a clothing hoarder. I still have my cashmere ones because I didn't want to get rid of those. Yeah, so I have those in Connecticut. But yeah, Meredith had back surgery just before that, right? And so you had to be in those. And I used to joke, I'm like, Mero, do I have to see your ass crack every day?
And I had the color of the rainbows with those juicy outfits.
Yeah, they were amazing. And Laura Schriffman from Harrison Schriffman we used to go in back in the day, guys, like when gifting was like really like, I mean, it was the bling era. We used to go in and Laura would be like, take whatever you want. And we would just go crazy. And like, remember Paris Hilton? I feel like she had just come in before us or something.
No, it was Nikki Hilton and Bijou Phillips was in there with us.
Oh, they were in there with us. Okay. Yeah. So like all the girls in Hollywood would come in and you would like pull whatever you wanted. And we just were like juicy girls.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But everything was like so small. I was like, does anyone see a large in there? Medium. I'll take a medium, please.
But what I think is funny, right now is Meredith is giving us a different perspective, right? So I read this article. I don't even remember where it was. I know
BuzzFeed is where it was.
Was it BuzzFeed?
Yeah.
So this woman, do you remember the woman who wrote the article?
I'm pulling it up now.
So this woman wrote this really, really long, in-depth article about, actually, I don't know what the whole point of it was officially. I know what I took away from it was there was a lot of takeaway. One of them was that she doesn't feel like buying anything anymore. And in these times where she doesn't have to leave her house, she's realizing, what did I need all that stuff for, in a sense, right? And she said, not wanting to buy things feels as bizarre as not wanting to sleep or not wanting to eat. It's been ingrained in us as Americans as an unspoken component of residency. And
such an incredible article. This is Anne Helen Peterson who wrote this article, and I do urge you, it's funny, I had loaded up Maria's rundown with all these quotes because I felt like every single paragraph of this article had interesting things to say. It gets into the history of the American economy, and just how for so long it has been literally a part of our American DNA to feel like we are almost being told to spend things. It stimulates the economy. And I feel the same way, Maria. There's a lot of things that have been challenging about quarantine. I'm getting pretty stir crazy, but at the same time, having permission, not only permission, but an obligation to just stay home and cuddle with my wife, it's been pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, the spending thing is interesting because she talks about, buying what we need versus what we want. And she said in post-World War II America, the vast majority of things we buy are not often what we actually need, but they're indisputably things we want, manifestations of personal and collective abundance. And last night, we cheated and we ordered food in.
Oh, collective gasp, Jeff. Oh.
Yep. I know Meredith's like, I do it all the time.
I do. Listen, I've been cooking a lot, but I do think I feel really good about giving back to the restaurant industry. I really do. So I've definitely been trying to at least, a couple days a week do that and pick up.
Yeah.
And one thing that I do find so interesting is that every time they're like, okay, thank you, once they take my credit card. And I'm like, wait, I want to leave a tip because I know that it's going back to all the staff right now. And they're like, oh, and I always try to, give a little extra, and they are like beyond grateful and actually seem so surprised.
Yeah.
And those dollars right now are really just going back to the people, all the restaurant industry employees that just aren't making anything right now.
Totally. I think, but what's crazy for us is like, if I was alone, I wouldn't worry as much. I mean, maybe because of my asthma, I would have actually, but as a regular person with no health issues, I would have been fine. But I've been super cautious with my parents. But I have been watching everybody ordering out and not having a problem. So I was like, okay, we'll cheat tonight, but we're not going to get used to it. So I ordered us pasta from our favorite pasta place, Lido's Pizza. In fact, it was featured in Olivia Wilde's movie Booksmart. And then it got really like, it exploded. So it was crazy. But we've been going there for years. And so I ordered from there, and you look at the thing and you're like, $130 for 5 of us. Like, that was like crazy. Like, if I add another $100, that's really what we're spending at like Smart and Final when we buy a shit ton of stuff, right? Yeah. And that will last us at least a week. But I wouldn't have thought about it like that before, because what I used to think about was, oh my God, I'm too busy. I gotta just keep moving. And so I have to eat out because I don't have time to deal with like going shopping and doing all of that. And so now I'm starting to look at things from a different lens, like, oh, okay, if I can just dedicate the time, and with Instacart, it's a lot easier, although that's crazy expensive too, because when you want to tip really well, you're like, holy moly, it's like an $80 tip on a Smart and Final order. But you have to, like, people are putting their lives on the line for you to go get your groceries. But it is interesting to start to see how spending changes from, it's been ingrained in us to be chasing after the next big thing, the next best TV, the next best outfit. And for me, Meredith, I've bought one thing this whole quarantine, and it was a bikini at the beginning, where I thought a vacation would be in my future at some point, and then realized, okay, that's not happening. And also it was going to be my inspiration to just really start like moving a little bit. And other than that, I haven't bought anything because I'm like, I have so much stuff. Like, why do I need more? Yes, I'm wearing the same dress that I wore 4 years ago. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. The world's ending. Like, why would I start spending money that, I might need to pay for my employees or pay for my parents' medical stuff? Like, I have to be really frugal. But it's interesting to see Meredith's like, no, I'm spending. Like, I'm buying outfits. Like, it's so wild to see all the differences in all of this.
Listen,
I had to invest in my sweat game.
I've always been a pretty big shopper. We know this.
Yeah.
So I'm just really spending money on, some cute loungewear and then alcohol.
Our alcohol bill's gone up in the Graham fam. In general, I read that alcohol sales are up like 43%, which, I get it. People need to find some kind of relaxation method, but at the same time, you think, if there's a global pandemic, we probably shouldn't be filling ourselves with booze because that's only going to hurt our immune system right now. It's crazy times.
But on the plus side, you can take AA meetings remotely now. So, like, if you do dive down the rabbit hole, there is help for you.
I think I'm gonna cry.
And you don't have to drive. You can just hop on Zoom.
You could hop. You could be having a drink.
I did. I'm quarantined in New York right now at my mom's house. And I did say to her the other day, I go, do you think I'm an alcoholic? And she goes, yes. I'm like,
not funny, but I know how you mean that. I think, by the way, Jeff, we're like a liquor store here. So don't buy any liquor before you talk to me.
I always go there.
That's very nice.
I have way too much, and we don't drink any of it. It's really like from our parties and stuff that we have so much. But yeah, I mean, I think more in the beginning of the quarantine, I drank more because it was so unnerving. And now, I'm just kind of like, oh, I don't want to like do that. So I haven't been drinking as much. Like last night we ordered the Italian food. Kevin had taken my mom to Cedars for her infusions and all of that. And I knew they were going to come back hungry and exhausted. And Kevin's just been burning the candle at both ends. And so I was like, I'm going to make it special for everybody. And my dad's been like building stuff on the property and like everyone's just, cooked. So I ordered it and I was like, we are going to pretend like we are in Italy tonight. So I put Italian music on, I got the wine, and of course I had to pick a shitty wine. I don't know anything about wines. So I just grabbed a bottle and it was not good, but we drank it anyway. And so we had our Italian little feast. It was really nice. And when I tell you, I normally take a half order of this ravioli with Alfredo sauce. I took down a full order that would take me 2 sessions, like 2 meals to eat. And I took it down and I literally was moaning like I was having an orgasm every time I put some in my mouth. It was so good. And all of us were just kind of like, oh, it's so good to eat something new and something we've missed.
Totally. It's Indian for Laura and I. There's like a hole-in-the-wall Indian spot that's like a block from us. And, we are trying to be careful because it is risky. But at the same time, like, we want to support that business. They're fairly new. They're immigrants, and they're working their asses off to keep this place open. And the food is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're like, I had a panic attack in the middle of the night because I realized I forgot to wipe down the plastic that the raviolis came in. Like I wiped everything else down and I like had everything else prepped and I was like, and then, I had to like talk myself off that cliff because what are you going to do?
Honestly, I really do think that the restaurants are being super careful. They're all wearing gloves. All the delivery people are. I mean, I've seen it. I try to wipe everything down, but I felt the same. Like I forgot to do something, and you can't live like that. Otherwise, you'll make yourself crazy.
I know. I should have woken up and been like, Bud Light.
I mean, but Meredith, for you, I'm sure you're extra aware of it because this was your industry as well, and is your industry in event planning.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it's interesting. We, most of our events have been put on hold for the rest of the year. We like Anheuser-Busch is one of our biggest clients. Bacardi is also.
Hey.
Yep. Bud Light.
Hello.
So we're still doing a lot of the virtual stuff with them. So, which has been great. Michelob Ultra is doing. It's part of a larger program that we do called Movement, and they're doing workouts with different people, and so they're giving back. So they'll do it with some form of a celebrity, and then with a local studio or some sort of workout place, and they'll do like a 30-minute workout followed by a happy hour, and then encouraging people to give back to those local workout studios that aren't making it.
I thought you were going to say encouraging people to drink.
No, but Maria didn't quite understand drinking and working out, and it's not necessarily drinking and working out.
Yeah.
But me being at home right now, if I do a workout class, I'm sure as hell gonna reward myself afterwards with a cocktail.
I know this is where you guys, I get super serious about things. Cause I was like, they asked me to do it and I love, Anheuser-Busch and I'm a beer girl. And so I was like, I just can't get behind the idea that I'm going to work out and then drink a beer right after. Like it just didn't make sense to me. So I'm like, I can't do it, but it's not that, I have anything against the program. It was just like, I wouldn't do that. So I can't go broadcast that. But then when I thought about it later and I'm like, well, I guess in this kind of moment in time, like that would make a little bit more sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Well, now it does. But at first I was like, I'm such a nerd about stuff, as you know. And so I was like, I can't do it, even though like, this would be great and whatever, but I'm a nerd. So
yeah.
I think now as I'm doing a show at 11 a.m. and having a beer, I'm realizing, well, that maybe not happens.
Yeah, you could have just worked out, and now you're rewarding yourself because that's our new normal.
This is the new normal, Mare. I wasn't in the new normal then, so maybe we'll have to make it happen.
Yeah. So, and then we're with Stella Artois, we're actually also doing a lot to give back to the restaurant industry. So we've been working with a lot of different chefs and They made a large donation to the James Beard Foundation to help with restaurants in the relief right now. So they're definitely still doing a lot of stuff in that platform.
Mare, so you are still keeping busy with work, which is good.
Yes. I mean, am I as busy as I normally am? No.
Usually you're like a human airplane.
Yeah. And so it's definitely different. Considering I'm typically I live on American Airlines. I really miss those videos before you take off. I miss those people, but yeah. So luckily we're trying to really put together plans moving forward when events do come back, just so we're super prepared and staying on top of things for our clients.
Wait, Mare, I was thinking about, so like different parts in this quarantine. I was like, thank God I went to Mexico in February. Thank God I just did it. And I was going to wait till March. And then I was like, no, I'm going right now. I'm losing my mind right now. I'm going to go now. And then I was like, thank God you and I had the Super Bowl. Oh. Thank God we were in Miami and we got to have fun. And by the way, we had no idea. That was end of January, early February, right?
That was the beginning of it. Remember, we were very much talking about it, and we sent out.
We were?
That guy, yeah, Maria. We sent out that guy to get us wipes and masks.
What?
I still have my mask from you,
Meredith.
You gave me two.
This is where I play brain tumor card. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, we sent the driver from the Fast and the Furious thing. Remember?
Wait,
and we asked him for just the little mask. No, we asked him for just the wipes, like in a smaller container for travel, and he bought us like the biggest thing of wipes.
Oh, was it for the plane for when we flew?
Yeah,
because it was just starting to pop up.
And like I said, I mean, I travel so much that I, for years now, have been wiping down this. I've always taken those precautions.
I call it Naomi Campbelling. Carry on.
Why she does that?
Oh, you've never seen the popular video of like Naomi Campbell and what she does when she gets on a plane?
No, am I her?
Epic.
What does she do?
We'll try to find it and put it in the summary. She basically goes in. I mean, she like cleans everything. She lays a sheet down. I mean, she is like intense.
I don't bring my own sheet.
Yeah,
but I definitely.
I'm gonna be now.
I wipe down everything, but I don't know, when the next time I will be on an airplane.
Yeah, so. But okay, so I don't remember that. Okay, so we asked and got masks and stuff because we knew we were going to be flying out. But I feel like the Fast and Furious event was still like days away from when we left.
But do you remember that? That was the beginning of when it really had just hit, or at least our knowledge, and when they were actually telling people that it had just hit the United States. So when you were out doing everything for the Fast and the Furious for the trailer release, when you were shaking everyone's hands and everything, you remember you were using the hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Just be super careful because you obviously, I mean, listen, I don't think we're going to be doing that anymore. But there were so many people that had come out to see all of you guys, and you guys were still greeting.
Oh my Lord. First of all, okay, guys, Meredith is my memory bank. I never remember anything anyway. And so I'm so glad that you're reminding me of this. So I'm trying to remember when I flew out, I knew that we had so many flight disasters.
And you flew back with Alice, Eva.
Yeah, but I don't remember wearing a mask and stuff at the airport.
You probably didn't because we weren't fully signed. Like we weren't fully signed into wearing masks or gloves for that matter. But the wiping down the seats for sure.
To be fair, like honestly, nobody really got on board with this until mid-February. Like even then, it was kind of like a slow roll into people actually using sanitizer. And
but we
masks.
didn't really. It wasn't until March.
Yeah. That we actually jumped on board.
Yeah, because I went to Mexico right at the end of February, and I flew back in I don't know, like March 2nd or something like that. And a lot of the girls that were going back to LA, because LA had a lot of numbers at that point, they were all wearing masks. I still was wiping down. I brought gloves, but I wasn't wearing a mask yet on the plane. And then a few days later, I went to LA. I remember getting in an Uber in LA, and the Uber driver told me that the guy that had gotten into his Uber before me had just taken his temperature. And I thought that was the most ridiculous thing in the entire world. I videoed him, made him tell me the story. And now everyone, like, that's our new life.
Wow. Wow. I don't remember that, but here's what I do remember. I remember Meredith and I at the Super Bowl in like prime, like Meredith and Maria mode. The two of us with our laughs are literally like, what would you call us, Mare? Like we are like walking machine guns or something. Like wherever we go, we are very much like very, very noticed.
I want to hear a story. Meredith, do you have any stories from like the good old days with Maria when you were her assistant that none of us would know?
So many.
So many. But like most of them I feel like are always embarrassing about me because I would get wrong and do something stupid.
So many.
I can't wait.
So many.
And then Maria likes to tell them to everyone.
When I did my Sirius XM show, I used to have Meredith call in all the time because we have so many stories together, and people really enjoy watching us together, like on Instagram and stuff, because we are ridiculous together. And really, it's her. I blame you.
No, but like even at the Super Bowl this year, when we ended up going into a box, I mean, they were just it was the Fox box. There was a lot of celebrities in it, and everyone was pretty just chill. It was obviously getting towards the end of the game, and people were being really serious. Two of us come in like the Tasmanian devil, and we're like, shots! And this and that. And Maria's like throwing things everywhere. Like, where did these two people come from? Out of control.
We are monsters of fun. I feel like when you're at Super Bowl, like, so we've traveled to so many events over the years together, whether it's like the Sundances of the world, the Super Bowls, the Oscars, whatever. We've gone to all of these things, and it's kind of like camp for us because we're seeing the same people. We know who's going to be at each of these events. And then there's some surprises, of course, but we're kind of like a traveling band with all these people. And so it is kind of our license to just like have a blast and have fun. And so, yeah, we definitely, we laugh nonstop together. We are singing Snoop Dogg on repeat wherever we are. And
this year we got ready to Luda every day because of Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, this year was ludicrous. And then we're just, I mean, I turned the Faena Lounge in Miami. It's like a chill lounge. Meredith and I got there, and you needed like reservations or whatever. So I think they realized who I was. They gave us like this little table at the entry area. And so we're like, we're cool. We just need to eat. We're so starving. And it was pouring rain outside. And
mind you, it was like 6 p.m.
So we sat down and we ordered sliders and fries. And holy moly, they were the most delicious sliders and fries I've ever eaten in my life. And we're like, we were supposed to go to Nobu for dinner. And all of a sudden we were like, yep, cancel Nobu, another round of sliders and fries and another round of drinks. And then soon enough, the table that we had, the reservation had come, and they started talking to Meredith, and I had no idea what was going on. And so apparently they, my attorney had rented a table for the week there. Like anybody who's going to Super Bowl, like these are the things they do. So he had rented a table for the week. And he had come to visit us at one point. And so he left and went to his dinner. And they said, you can say what they said.
So basically, I'm, saying, I'm with Maria. We have some friends coming. We realized that we would like to stay. And they're like, well, we're so sorry. But actually, we saw that Mr. Yorn was at your table earlier. He has a reservation later. Do you think he would mind if we gave you his table for now? I go, nope, that's fine.
Meredith, this is why I love Meredith. Like, I am a nerd. I would have been like, oh, let's call Kevin to make sure. She's like, nope, let's go.
Fine. We're clear. Kevin arrived, like, I don't know, at 4 hours later, 5 hours later, and Maria and I were like dancing on the table. Like
It was hilarious, you guys. We started, actually it was earlier than 6. I think it might have been like 5-ish. We got there early. and we just were drinking and eating, and then our friends were joining, and I was trying to get the DJ to change his slow, lame music. And I was like, sir, I'm like, listen, I said, can we get like a little, like, I don't know, like some like hip hop or like rap or, just some like pop, top 40 pop, something. We don't do this here.
They did not like that.
He did not like it. And I said, okay, I totally understand like what this is normally, but this is Super Bowl and we are all here from out of town wanting to have fun. So, there's like a little adjustment that needs to go on.
I so get that. I'm the same way, Maria. If I want to make a party happen, I really try to make it happen because I want everyone to have fun. I relate to that so much.
I know how to make something fun, and
Totally.
I felt the energy in that room, and we knew everybody, and I was like, everyone here wants to party and have fun. No one wants to just sit and have like a cocktail and be chill. It is like we're turning up now. And so, by the way, this is not me normally, guys. This is not me. Meredith?
But when I get you to other places, this is like take you out of LA and out of your house. This is you. Unless you're having like one of your birthday parties. You started a conga line in that place. I'm dying.
I forgot.
I can't. We're so embarrassing. We may be fun, but we can be super embarrassing.
We are super embarrassing, but we have a lot of fun together. Yeah, so I mean, he lost the battle, the DJ, poor guy. Because what was funny was he started because the management told him to like, I was like, they came over to the table. They're like, what would you like? And I'm like, listen, I know everybody here. We're all on the same page. We want to have a little bit of fun. Like, just, let's play some fun music. It's like, okay, no problem. So he told the DJ. DJ had to do it. And then eventually he went his way. And so all of a sudden the energy was sucked out of the room and dead. And so then they came over to me and I go, take a look before, after. You tell me what you want. And so then the music came back up. It was like Meredith and I lived there. We were there for like a full 24 hours, I feel like. No.
Yeah, I don't think we left till like in the morning.
It was like an 8 or 9 hour adventure. We just never left there because it was pouring rain. You couldn't go anywhere. So there was like a big Sports Illustrated party. And normally Super Bowl, that's what you do. You go to some of these bigger parties after. And we were like, we're not going anywhere. We're just going to stay here. It's pouring rain out. And clearly there was
the best move we could have ever made.
It was so fun. But we have so many stories. So Meredith, I'm having such a difficult time breathing. Meredith, I mean, I have a vision. I'm trying to remember if it was when we were shooting the Fantastic Four. We were up in we were up in Vancouver, and then we were in Whistler having a romantic getaway. I was always on the most romantic spots with Meredith.
Those are my romantic trips are with Maria or my mother.
Yeah, but there was one moment where I feel like I found you like with very little clothing, but half of your body was inside of a minibar.
In the minibar, yeah. For sure.
that was in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, we haven't made it to Whistler yet.
Okay, so Meredith was like wasted. Were you in my room or your room?
I think I was in mine.
Yeah. And I just found her, literally, guys, half of her body was inside of the minibar. Like when Meredith gets drunk, God forbid you have a minibar. Oh my God, your bill is going to be crazy. She just demolishes anything in sight that is food. She has sent me pictures of herself like at Halloween where she's ordered fries and she's like in her ripped pantyhose and bra on the floor with fries all over her and fries on the ground. And she's just like, she goes in a full beast mode.
You make me sound like some ogre. There was that time. Remember when I made in New York, when I think I ordered like everything that was on the room service menu to your room. Yeah. And you came out of the bathroom and I had decorated your bed with like chips, like all over, like they were rose petals.
Yes.
All for you.
I remember. We definitely, oh man. Yeah, I will say I loved your post the other day because obviously I was obsessed with The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. And you're from Chicago, diehard Chicago girl, diehard Chicago Bulls fan. Your management and your owners definitely screwed up by not bringing the team back. I mean, how dumb. They never recovered. And so I feel like, honestly, if they brought back the Bulls, even at this age, like all those guys, they would do better than what they've been doing for the last however many years.
There's nothing like that era.
Yeah. So, but what I loved is, and we can roll in the clip, is Meredith she was on some TV show. What's the TV show? Tell me the story behind this.
So, as you know, my dad was in television, so he ran the ABC affiliate in Chicago during that time. And
her dad, by the way, discovered Oprah as well. No big deal. Meredith has pictures of her and Oprah when she was a little girl.
I was her first guest.
You were her first guest?
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah. You knew that.
I have no memory.
But so he had done some show with my dad, put together some special show for Michael. I mean, it was obviously in the beginning of his career on the Bulls. And I don't know what the basis of the show was, but I'm sure it was just some sort of special on him, a special interview. And Jim Rose, who is still a very well-known sportscaster in Chicago, had hosted it. And everyone in the audience was all adults. And then me, I'm like this 6 or 7 year old by myself. And obviously, because of my dad's position, I was able to ask a question. And, I really put my reporting skills to the test there. And my big question was, why do you like to play basketball?
Okay, so here it goes. Look at how cute she is.
Okay, young lady, your name? Your question for Michael.
My name is Meredith Alhern, and why do you like to play basketball?
All right.
It's the only game I could play with a lot of effectiveness, I guess. I started playing baseball when I was about 6 years old, and I started to grow. And I was growing out of all my clothes, so my mother said, try basketball. So I started playing basketball when I was 12, and from that point on, I loved the game.
I'll tell you, outside his parents' home.
The cutaways to you. Meredith, you were so freaking cute. It's crazy. When I saw that, I go, of course Meredith interviewed Michael Jordan. Of course she did. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
I could have been your competition, Maria.
You could have been my competition. Now you're my sidekick. All right. So listen, we are going to transition into our interview today, or a chat with Courtney Elizabeth. And feel free to chime in, Meredith. Since 2009, Courtney Elizabeth has been a staple of YouTube's beauty influencer community, primarily featuring do-it-yourself makeup tutorials. I watched one of her beauty tutorials and was like, oh my gosh, this girl's so good. And then I got sucked down her YouTube rabbit hole and saw that she had a brain tumor as well, and then got more and more interested. So in 2017, she was diagnosed with brain cancer. She bravely chronicled the journey to recovery on our channel. In addition to being a 5th grade teacher, Courtney's now a popular beauty influencer and brain health advocate, and I thought it was only fitting that we talked to her today as the days are ticking down. It's May 21st, and it's Brain Cancer Awareness Month. And having had a brain tumor myself, I thought it was important that we bring light to this. So, Courtney, how are you?
Oh, she looks like she might be muted. We're going to fix that in just a second.
Okay. Courtney, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great. There you are. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So you're in Alabama right now?
I am. Yeah, I'm normally from Michigan, though, so I've moved over here.
Great. So we have my best friend Meredith, who is in New York, on the line as well, and so I was definitely I was going down a rabbit hole of YouTube one day. I was just like taking a bath, trying to like de-sore my muscles with Epsom salt, and I found you, and it was through beauty stuff. And so, I feel like I've been going down a lot of the beauty rabbit holes and checking things out that I normally wouldn't have time to. And Yeah, and I'm unlocking mysteries. Like, I'm like, oh, that's how they do this. Like, I never knew with these ring lights that we have that there's a remote control, and that's how people get all these pictures to look perfect, and they don't need a traveling photographer with them. I was like, man, these people, they have a lot of money to hire people to take pictures of them all day.
Right, there's like a little button that's like right by your hand. It's just like
yeah, totally. Had no idea. And so I went down the rabbit hole, and then I saw that you had been diagnosed with a brain tumor. So then I started kind of looking at all of this, and I just thought that it was so brave of you, obviously, to chronicle your journey and to share it. And I wanted to share a little bit of your story with our audience and get to know what you've gone through, because you've definitely gone through a lot.
Yeah.
So
a lot.
What kind of what did you get diagnosed with? It's not glioblastoma, right?
No, I got the best one that you could ever have. So is the one I got. I don't know what it's called because it's long and I will never remember ever what it's called. But they had said in the beginning that if you need to have one, the one that I have is the best one to get. So it was exciting that I'm like, okay, I mean, maybe it's not going to be as bad as that, everyone claims things to be. And I'm here and I made it. So
yeah, and it's stage 3 brain cancer, right?
Yes, and originally they had said it was not cancerous, and then after the surgery and everything, my mom had heard and found out that it was cancerous, and then she didn't want to tell me, and then we went through to my MRI and saw a poster, not a poster, what is that called, a billboard or whatever it is, and I saw it and it was like something about cancer on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I don't have this. And my mom was like,
ooh.
And she was like, I do need to tell you something. And I was, obviously a mess in my MRI, crying everywhere, figuring out that I do have cancer, and like an absolute mess. So
yeah, they don't know until they biopsy it. And so when I went in for my brain surgery, they said, we're pretty sure this is benign, but we won't know until we have the results. So it was my first question, like when I came to, first of all, did you get it all out? And he said, yeah. He said most of it. And then I said, was it cancer? And he said, no. And so, or actually, I don't remember if that part I found out right away, actually. I can't remember now.
How long ago was that?
It'll be 3 years on June 8th on my birthday.
Oh, good.
So, it had to have been shocking to hear that. At what point did you decide I want to share this with everybody?
Well, I knew that I was not going to be the only person in the world to have a brain tumor. And since I have such a large following, I thought it would just be very helpful for anybody else that's going through what I'm going through, because I didn't know how it was going to be. Nobody knows what it's going to be. So I was like, you know what, it would be very beneficial for literally anybody that's going to go through something with, actually just with anything, any surgeries or anything like that, especially like brain stuff. I was like, you know what, I'm going to film this and talk to the other doctors and see if we can get a video on it, just because I think it's important for people not to be afraid, because like I was afraid not knowing what was going to happen. I was like, I'm going to do this for everybody else, just so they don't have to get scared and stuff for the surgery or anything.
Yeah, I feel you, because when I was diagnosed, I instantly turned my iPhone on and started filming, and I was talking to camera like, so I just got diagnosed with a brain tumor. Holy moly. My mom had just been diagnosed a few months before. She has glioblastoma. And so I chronicled my journey, and I was doing it for the same reason. I was like, you know what? I'll probably put like a video together so people know what to expect, because you also never expect someone younger like us to have to kind of deal with this, because you don't see it often, right? And so my biggest things were like, so what how does this look? Like, how do they, so I started looking at videos of people having brain surgery, and you actually filmed your surgery. And I missed out on getting a copy of mine, because they film all of our surgeries at Cedars, and I waited too long to ask for it. But I wanted to know what it looked like. And we actually have that video from your YouTube where they're doing flashcards with you because they have to be very careful when they're operating to make sure that they're not pushing on something where they're going to damage you. So let's roll that clip a little bit.
See a little bit of it also as well. So I'm going to put that really quick, just a couple of videos of how I'm doing at speech.
Oh, this is actually the speech clip. So pause this for a second.
I can grab the flashcard clip though. We'll have that in 30 seconds.
Okay. So we are not prepared with the surgery clip, but we can put the link in the show. It's fine. But you're in the hospital bed, and it was fascinating for me to watch too, because I felt like I was watching myself in a sense, right? Like, okay, that's what it must have been like. But this clip that we have, after your surgery, and I want to know more about the speech issues, you have battled coming back and getting your speech and kind of cognitive stuff back into place. And so even throughout this interview, if you guys hear her have any difficulties, it's because she had major brain surgery and, it was in an area that controlled her speech. So you can see her in this clip. I think, this is one of your therapy classes, right? Oh, you probably don't even know the clip. You'll see it. It's when you're talking about George Bush.
So George W. Bush, the old one, when he was 90, it was his birthday, and they went skydiving for his birthday party.
So explain to everybody what they're doing here with you, Courtney.
So I'm going through, and there was a picture, I think, let me see. I think there was a picture, there's a picture of George W. Bush, and they had to read through it and then had to go through and explain what was the picture of. And it was a picture of George W. Bush, and it was like a words in it about him. And then we would go through and have to explain what's happening in it. And not only was it was George W. Bush, and had to explain with it. And obviously I shouldn't have said he was having a birthday party because, how old was he?
90.
It is 90th birthday party. And I had said, oh, he's having his birthday party, thinking that he was having a birthday party when he's 90. And I remember this day, I loved going to speech. Speech was so much fun. My speech person was the best. Just seeing all of my progress that I've had through it is amazing. Because in the beginning, I didn't know my name. Well, I knew my name. That was all I knew. I didn't know how to read. I didn't know letters. I didn't know my numbers. My numbers are still, to this day, numbers are hard. If someone says if I say, what's the temperature outside? And it was 73. I'd always be like, wait, what did you say? 74? And they're like, you're close, but it was 71 or whatever. It's just, numbers are extremely, extremely important. So numbers for something else, like passwords and stuff, and stuff like that, for me, it's really difficult to have to I have to do everything by number. I can't go through, if someone says 555-3742 or something, I would be like,
yeah. How long ago was that video?
It was about 3 years ago, I can say. Yeah, it was that was early speech.
I feel like we were going through this at the same time. Now mine, a totally different story because mine was benign, but I think we had surgeries around the same time.
When was yours?
June 8th.
May 8th?
June 8th.
June 8th. Mine was May 8th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, a month after. So you had surgery. They removed all of the tumor?
I think it was. There was some of it still, they couldn't take it out because you saw me have my seizure in it, so that part couldn't be taken out. So I think that's why I had to get radiation as well.
Got it. And then you had to do chemo too.
Yeah. And I did chemo pills, which was a lot better because I didn't lose all of my hair, just all the pieces from the radiation.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom had to do the same thing. And so, you know, it's not easy to share all of that. You know, you're a beautiful girl and when your hair isn't right and all of that. Do you feel like documenting it actually gave you a little bit more kind of help through it?
100%. I had actually I knew I wanted to filmed it for the actual surgery and everything like that. And then after I was finally able to watch the clips and everything after it, I actually didn't even want to post it. Like watching it was giving me like extreme bad anxiety, like watching how everything went, because like I didn't really remember all of it. So when I went through and watched all of the clips, I started crying with my mom. I was like, I cannot post this. Like this is so difficult for even for me to watch. Like I couldn't even imagine everybody else watching it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, because I had originally almost even just wanted to delete it all, and I'm really glad that I didn't.
Yeah. And I so identified with your questions, like, what does everything look like? How does it all work? Like when you have something like this that's on the rarer side, you have so many questions and it's really hard to, you know, kind of find answers. So you are kind of like, you are the answer now. People can go and they can see. I wonder what is your status now? How is the whole tumor and all of that? Clear?
I'm clear. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I have to do MRIs every 4 months. So my next one is beginning of July.
And did you do anything other than the kind of Western stuff that they suggest, like the chemo, radiation, and surgery? Did you do anything else?
I mean, they didn't tell me to do anything. I did end up taking black seed oil. We had heard that's just really good stuff for your for your body and stuff for it. So I started taking that. I actually do still take it. It's just really beneficial for your body. And I just, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you say your cognitive functions are close to normal again?
Yes, but it depends. So it depends if like how I'm feeling. Like if I'm like in a bad mood, like it totally ruins everything for my speech and everything like that. If I have too much coffee, if I don't have enough water, if I'm like really hungry, like there's a lot of obstacles that my brain needs to go through for me to like be like closer to 100%. But every day it's different depending on what's going on.
Do you feel like the doctors understand your different symptoms? Because I feel like it's so individual for all of us, how we feel and how we act. Like they have like, okay, these are the general things. Like I remember I was slurring my speech, and that was one of the things that I realized, you know, before I diagnosed myself with a brain tumor. And my doctor was like, no, slurring a speech has nothing to do with your tumor. But I was slurring my speech.
Yeah, so it is.
So do you feel like some of the things that you have, they're like, oh, that's not connected, and then you kind of feel like it is?
I don't think so. For me, like I had asked them so many questions and stuff like that. Like, for example, after my surgery, I had gone through, and obviously like my eyes were all messed up because, you know, I had this huge surgery. And I kept telling my mom, I was like, I can't see on my right side. Everything is blurry. Everything is like cross-eyed. Like I can't see very well. And I'm like, this is not normal. And everyone just keep telling me, ask the doctor, oh, it'll get better, it'll get better. And then after a while, I'm like, I cannot see over here. Like my hand here, like I can't see this. And I was like, this is not right. And I have it here too. Like I can't, even just looking at it here now, like I can't see my hand here to like get to here. So I finally went to the doctor, like the eye doctor or whatever. I had like a special one, and I had to go through and I had to like had your eyes in it, and it like goes into it and see when you can see it. And I'm actually missing like a quarter of each side, or a little bit more on both sides of my eyes, and missing, it's like a black spot. Like I can't see anything in there. And they had said that he did accidentally nick something during surgery. And you know, to me, like I had people message me all the time being like, why aren't you suing him, blah blah blah. And for me, I'm like, he saved my life. Like, what are you talking about? He literally saved my life.
Yeah.
So
well, also, you know, unfortunately, no one's God, no one's perfect. And so you know, it's such a precise thing in there. Nobody wants to hurt you.
Exactly.
But I think that's really kind of you to take that perspective. I feel like it's probably kind of those the trigeminal nerve. I think it's the 6th and the 8th nerve that was probably affected, because that's when I came out of surgery, my eyes were going like this, you know, back and forth like crazy. Yeah. And my vision was double and triple, and that's because they poke at that nerve trying to get the rest of the tumor off of it. And so that's why Dr. Black left what he left in there, because he was like, it's gonna be too damaging.
Yeah. How long did that take you to get your eyesight back, or is it back?
Yeah, it's back. It was really actually kind of quick. I think by the next 2 days, I just muttered to my husband. I said, get Vicky. And I was preparing in my head to wear an eye patch and be like a Beyonce superhero character. I was like, okay, if this is what my new normal is going to be, I'm going to like bedazzle an eye patch. I started designing in my head, in the few moments I was awake, like these like thigh high boots that were going to be, I was going to have this whole alter ego, because I always try to figure out what the solution's going to be. If I'm going to not have vision in this eye, or it's going to be whatever. Yeah. And they had brought me the eye patches, and I'd been wearing them. And then when Vicky came, she's an osteopath, and I've had her on the show many times. She did reflexology on the big toe, which is the brain points, and some acupuncture. Yeah, and some acupuncture. And within 2 hours, I was fine. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's really neat.
It was like miraculous. So, you know, it's such a interesting thing with the brain. And I wonder, how do you feel now? Like, are you nervous? Is it something that stays with you every day, where it's like, oh gosh, what if it comes back?
With the speech, is that what you're saying?
The tumor.
Or the tumor. I'm usually fine up until like the week before the MRI. So like right now I'm fine. I mean, even when it gets closer to the MRI, like I think I'm nervous, but I know it's fine. Usually like when I got the tumor, like I know what was happening in my brain. So like I'm not feeling any of that right now, which is good. So as of right now, I'm not nervous, but I mean, I'm always going to be nervous for an MRI. I mean, I'm sure do you still do MRIs? Yeah. Do you get as nervous as I do? And like like when I get into there, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know. I feel like I'm getting more claustrophobic every time I have to go in.
Right? I try to close my eyes. What I do when I get in there, because you know it's like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Like I sit there and I'm like, let me just count how many of these have been. Like,
do they play music for you? I get to listen to Frank Sinatra in there. And oh yeah, you got to get your earbuds or something. Like they give me headphones and I play Frank Sinatra, and then I just imagine like roses and butterflies and puppies, and I try to just keep focused on good things, because sometimes I get like real anxiety in there, and then I know I'm in a tube and I'm stuck and they can't get me for like a minute at least. And I have panicked a couple of times.
Yeah. Did you ever have to go to the bathroom in it?
No, thank God.
I'd be like, I'm so sorry, but I need to go to the bathroom. And they're like, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just can't. I have to go.
I know.
Yeah, they don't like that.
What is your best advice for anybody who's just finding out that they are going through this?
I would say not calm down, but like really, let me just think. I would say don't worry, but I don't want to say don't worry. But I would say just stay with just this is a speech thing. I can't even type it going through my brain right now.
Yeah, you've said it's like you know what you want to say sometimes, but it won't come out, right?
Yeah. To tell to anyone else, just like stay focused on your life, just like your everything. Just make sure that you're staying focused, making sure you're being healthy. Drink a lot of water. I would also say, I'm not going to say to go watch my videos, but I mean, I also see other like people talking about like cancer and stuff for that. I mean, whether if it's mine or anyone else's, or if you have any questions, like you are 100% can message me on Instagram, on YouTube, literally anything. If you have any issues with brain things or just in general, like I'm here for you. I know how it is, and I think it's something that if you need, I'm always going to be here. I like for my stuff, like if I hadn't have been with my family and friends, like it would have been extremely difficult for me. And that's who I relied on. So, I mean, obviously I lived with my mom, and I don't know what, I probably would have been dead if my mom wasn't there. So I would say stay with your friends and family and just stay positive. It's a difficult thing to go through, but you'll get there. Just stay positive and be strong.
Yeah, well, you're a good model to follow. And I wonder also with your YouTube career, do you feel like it's helped? And are you pivoting at all? Are you still kind of doing the same thing you were doing before?
Well, for a lot of YouTubers, they want to do stuff for the money or, you know, something like that. And for me, I do it for myself. Like if there's something that I want to post, I'm going to post it because I like doing these specific things. So for me, I started off with singing, with my YouTube channel. I started off by singing. My grandma had said that she'll give me a guitar if I would sing it online, and you know, so she can see it. So that's how I started with YouTube, and then going into the makeup, because I mean, who doesn't love makeup? And then once the whole surgery and everything happened, that's when I started filming that stuff, and then all my speech. So everything kind of goes through the phases of kind of what was happening in my life. So, but for being a YouTuber, I would say I'm not even a YouTuber. That's just kind of my side, because like my main thing that I love doing is being a teacher. So, yeah.
How has this experience changed you?
I am a lot more easygoing. Like if something happens, like the other day, I accidentally spilled an entire bottle of water on our not metal, it was a wood table. And I was like, whoops. Like sometimes I'm like, gosh darn it, like, gosh. And I mean, now I'm just way more of a like easygoing kind of way. And it's just an oops. I mean, just like anything that happens like that, I'm just like, it's okay. Like life goes on, and oops, and just move on. So
yeah, it's kind of like it puts life into perspective for you.
It does. And like going back to like starting up with the surgery and stuff, like I mean, I start off being like, okay, it's okay. I have this brain tumor and, you know, everything's going to be fine. And then you go through everything, you know, like I'm still fine. I'm the same person, but I personally think I'm better now. I was just so, not that I was angry or anything. I'm just like, now I'm just so much more loosey-goosey and stuff like that. And, I don't know. I mean, life is hard, like to start before, like during my surgery. I don't know if you know, but like my surgery was May 8th. And then 3 days after my surgery, my dad had open heart surgery 3 days after mine.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so trying to get through everything. And I mean, like even just at like not just today, but like any day, like I look back to what I had gone through, and I'm just like, this is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. My mom and I often look back. She was in the middle of all her treatments when I had surgery. She doesn't even remember. She didn't even know I was having surgery. She was there. She didn't get it. She was cognitively not aware. And she has no recollection of it now. So, you know, it's definitely, it's a lot, but as my quote said that we started with the day, the most beautiful people we've known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern. Beautiful people don't just happen. And Courtney, I think you're one of those beautiful people.
Oh, thank you so much. And you did a great job reading that.
Thank you.
Mine would have been so different.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining us and for being a brain health advocate and sharing your story. And if you guys want to know more about Courtney, you can follow her at Courtelizz. That's with 2 I's and 2 Z's. 1 at Courtelizz1. We're going to put that in the summary, and we'll also put a link to your YouTube in there as well, so people can come follow your journey. And I understand I'm going to be calling you after this, and you're going to be now interviewing me. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. I'm down. So I'm going to wrap my show up, and I will be calling you in just a bit. So thank you so much, Courtney. And
Yes,
I'll be with you in just a few.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
What an inspiration.
How great is she?
Yeah. So, and I love that she's open. For her to say, you can DM me, you can reach out. You know, we talk a lot on this show. Suffering in the moment is very, very challenging, but it can give you a sense of purpose.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you know, I'm the same way. I'm an open door for anybody who needs help with their brain tumor journeys. I have a call Friday. What I've been doing now is I'm collecting everybody and putting them on one call so that I can say it at once, because it's become very challenging to schedule them all into my days. But one of our AfterBuzz staffers, godmother, just got diagnosed, and then I have another friend's husband who has it, and so I'm going to be getting on a Zoom call with them Friday and coaching them through this as well.
Is it just me, or is it more prevalent now?
You're just aware of it. It's like when you buy when you buy a red car and all of a sudden you see red cars everywhere. You're like, oh my God, everyone has a red car. It's the same thing.
It's just because I'm getting older and I know more people experiencing it. Okay.
Yeah, you've got now 3 people at least in your vicinity.
Yeah.
So Maria, I mean, I think we've talked about it. I think that maybe, you know, many years ago, people didn't know. Like they just may have, you know, not bought it, or just technology and obviously medical, all the tests and things have you know, and gotten better and grown. So I know a lot of people that have had it.
Yeah. I think it also, like, as you get older, you know, people start to have, that's why I always say, like, in your 20s, you can kind of just like, whatever, I'm going to eat junk and treat my body like shit and whatever. And then in like your 30s, stuff starts kind of manifesting. You're like, oh, well, I haven't slept, I haven't eaten well, I'm working like crazy, or, you know, I'm doing all this stuff. And so stuff catches up at some point. So, you know, this is the age where you start to see your friends getting sick, or your friends' parents, or whatever. So
I'm really, I'm really not happy that I only have about 19 days left of eating Hot Pockets before I have to stop.
You're quitting? Are you just quitting Hot Pockets?
Well, it's just I'm turning 30. I'm gonna be too old for Hot Pockets, Maria.
You're never too old for Hot Pockets.
It's just this lifestyle. It's a lot. It's a lot to maintain. It's a standard of living I'm used to that I don't know I'm going to be able to give up, Maria, and I'm really afraid. At least I can still drink beer well into my 50s. Cheers.
Thursdays for the ladies.
Ladies.
And the gents. Meredith, I don't know if you know this, but Steven and I share a birthday. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I already got Maria's gift.
By the way, we didn't even mention our Bella's interview yesterday has gone everywhere. We're on page 6. We're in People Magazine, Yahoo. It was an incredible interview. If you didn't get to see it, take a look back and check that out. In the meantime, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being a part of our Better Together community, because when you know better, you get better. And if you haven't already, please comment, rate, subscribe, share the show with a friend that you think will benefit. Share it on social media. Meredith's going to be sharing so many links on her social media today. It's going to get dizzying. We're going to be like, okay, Mer, stop. We know you're a fan. And, yeah.
I fucked up. I forgot to mention Patreon at the beginning.
Yeah, you screwed up.
I fucked up.
Yeah, Bud Light just made you screw up.
I'm just too drunk.
Okay, but if you haven't joined Patreon, join us. Click the link in the summary and join us for having really great conversations over there. In the meantime, Monday, we are not going to be doing a show. It's Memorial. Oh, Steven's eyes just bugged out of his head.
I didn't know that.
Jeff
It's
never.
a holiday.
Jeff didn't relay. We are going to take a holiday, and it's not for me as much as it's for you guys. I wanted to make sure.
Do you want me to stop shows at AfterBuzz, or because we still have like 20 shows that day?
Well, you can talk to your other boss about that, but I want to make sure you guys have a little bit of a break on Monday and get to enjoy yourselves. Meanwhile, we are going to do a rebroadcast of something from the archives. Ooh. That's going to be amazing, that I know you guys probably haven't listened to or listened to in a long time, and it will be very, very good. So that is that. Tuesday, we have New York Times bestselling author Dr. Pamela Peeke, who specializes in women's health and nutrition and stress management. It's going to be a great episode. If I wasn't as inhibited as I am right now, I would release the burp that is deep inside of me that wants to come out.
Yeah.
What?
Do it. I'm not going to mute your mic until you do it.
No, I'm not going to do it this time, but Thursday, I will show you my gifts. One Thursday, we will have a burping contest. We'll figure out what celebrity will come on and do it with me, and I will share my gifts with the world. You guys thought I was just,
I love it. I can't wait.
They're very scary.
I know. I can shake a whole house down. Like, you might think it's an earthquake. I have talent.
It's the Medford in you.
And P.S. Meredith, you should talk.
I can burp too.
Yes, exactly. She's like, you're so scary. You're so gross.
I'm not going to do that on a podcast.
Meanwhile, she's a beast. She can do it just as bad as me. Shitballs. Oh, man, this is a lot of fun. Love you guys. Mara, thank you for joining. Follow us at Maria Menounos, at Meredith Alhern, right?
At ML Ahern.
Yeah, that.
One too.
At Jeffrey Crane Graham, at Stephen Lemieux Photo. And remember, be nice people, make good choices, and be present. Shitballs.
Bye.